So as we begin, we are going to begin with a couple of moments of seated. So a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like in your practice. That can be sitting in a chair, that could be sitting cross-legged, that could be sitting up against the wall, that can be sitting any way you want. And again, if it's available to dim the lights a little bit, to make sure you have something nearby to cover your eyes, go ahead and just have that near you, as well as any props that you like for your practice. I do like to have wall or bed or chair space. And then, of course, pillows, blankets, blocks, bolsters. And so as you come to sit, kind of finding your seat, moving the flesh back so you're up on your sit bones, wherever you are, if you're in a chair, if you're on the earth, and just let yourself arrive. So last week we sort of activated the chakra system from the crown. We sort of opened the connection to the thousand-petaled lotus, to that limitless universal energy. And now we begin the process of drawing it down. This is the pathway of manifestation. And as we come to the sixth chakra, which is often called the third chakra, right? Or the third eye chakra, sorry, the third eye chakra, the Agnya chakra, which is the command center, we're coming into the higher mind, but we're starting to channel it down. So the seventh chakra is where we have all this possibility and potential, but then here is where we begin to figure out, how do we make it real? How do we make it tangible? This is the frontal brain. This is the pineal gland. This is the primal brain. And so for a moment, take your hands into prayer, take your thumbs, and then gently press the thumbs into that space between the eyebrows. Close the eyes, soften the jaw, and just imagine directing your breath into this space. And this is the chakra of intuition, perception, inner and outer vision, the physical eyes, again, the pineal gland. This is the chakra of command through the body. It is also the Chittakash, the gateway to the infinite potential. This is how we sort of move in. And the third eye actually is right kind of between the ears, at the height of the ears back from the forehead. So when we're connecting to the front of the forehead, really it's back. It's kind of right in the middle. The pineal and the pituitary glands and the hypothalamus are all pretty close to each other in the midbrain, in the command center. And so imagining, as you press your thumbs lightly into this space, that we are asking this energy to activate. Om Agnya Swaha. We bow to the command center of the third eye. We invite the intuition, the perception, the psychic energy that is natural to all of us. This is the energy of light, the energy of vision. And right now we are in the transition point into the new moon. And so I love that this chakra intuitively came tonight. And so we are bowing to the potential to manifest, to start to draw from spirit into the body. And take a deep breath in and out. And we'll tone the seed sound for this chakra. And there's a few of them. A lot of the traditions don't quite agree. The last few years I've been working with Sham, S-H-A-M. So we're going to tone that 3 times and just imagine vibrating that right there into the third eye point. And you can also just listen or hum. Big breath in. Sham. 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 Take a deep breath in, press the thumbs into the third eye, and then exhale, release. And if you've been sitting cross-legged, you'll switch the cross of the legs so we balance out the hips. Otherwise, just make sure you're still up on your sits bones. And now I want you to close your eyes as you take your hands to your knees or your shins, and we're going to slowly start to spiral. So spiraling through the spine. Keep the eyes soft and closed. Notice the tendency to want to open them, or maybe there is no tendency to want to open them. So this is the chakra of vision. It's connected to the color of indigo. And again, relating to the psychic center, the intuitive center, the vision, our physical eyes, as well as the inner eye, the primal brain, the early brain, the part of the brain that, we've had for quite a long time. This is our perception. And in yoga, perception has a lot to do with our level of suffering. Yoga is a system to reduce suffering. And the yogis have found, after lots of observation over thousands of years, and thousands more have passed since we've received the teachings, and suffering is a lot to do with perception. And perception is the function of this chakra. Go ahead and reverse the direction. Just again, eyes closed, just feeling into the movement from the pelvis up into the ribs, the shoulders, even letting the head and the neck go. And just noticing what it's like to move with your eyes closed, moving through the dark moon into the new moon, moving from the crown into the third eye. And we gather into this space and we seek a reset of our perception. We seek clear seeing. So vidya is one of the goals in yoga, and avidya is one of the challenges. So clear seeing. Because if our eyes think they see a snake, the body responds. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. It doesn't matter if everyone else saw a stick. If our eyes saw a snake, we respond. And this is true of our entire life. If our perception tells us one thing, our body responds. And so this chakra, the command center, the front of the brain, the pineal gland, has a lot to do with this ability to clear our sights, to move from intuition rather than anxiety or ignorance or delusion. And it's actually pretty hard in our culture because we're overstimulated in this center. There's so much light. Most of us never spend time in true darkness unless you camp outside, away from light pollution, without any light. That's really the only true way to reset our light, is to be in complete natural darkness for a period of time. Go ahead and bring it back to center. Keep your eyes closed. Lengthen your spine again. Just intuitively sit up tall. And then draw your hands together. Rub your palms. Let the hands get nice and warm. And then place your hands over your eyes and just allow. Can you sense the heat from your hands? And then slide your hands down and don't move anything else on your body. We're going to do some eye yoga, which is a real thing. We're just talking about, there's so many things that sound kind of made up. So the body isn't going to move, but you're going to softly open your eyes and you'll look down, left, up, right, down, right, up, left, down. Close the eyes. Take a breath. Exhale it out. Rub your palms. Place your hands over your eyes. Again, can you feel that warmth? Maybe a little bit more, warming the eyeballs, the eyelids, the eye sockets. Inhale. Exhale, release. Again, whole body stays nice and still and lifted, just the eyes open. Looking down, right, up, left, down, left, up, right, down, close. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Rub the palms together. Place your hands over your eyes. Once the hands feel nice and warm, let that warmth sink in. And then slide the hands down. Gently open the eyes. Look down, left, up, right, down, right, up, left, down, left, up, right, down, right, up, left, down, close. And just pause. Imagine as you inhale that you're breathing up into the third eye, and just pause. And then exhale, release. Inhale, breathing up into the third eye. And exhale, release. And just a couple more times. And the eye yoga is great if you spend a lot of time looking at screens, which I think is pretty much all of us. It's actually been shown to improve vision and sight if you do it consistently, like a practice, like you would any other practice, a few times a week. There's also a lot of other techniques you can do with it, so you can always look a little bit further. And then slowly blink the eyes open and just notice the space around you. Kind of just take in what first jumps out at you in the room you're in. What do you first notice? You can stretch your legs out if you've been sitting and just shake the legs out, but just notice for a moment with soft eyes, without expectation, looking around your space, what jumps out at you? What are you intuitively drawn to? Maybe it's this one spot that needs cleaning. Maybe it's a spot that carries beauty. Maybe it's, something that you have no idea why it's got your attention. But notice, especially as we move in through the new moon the next few days, like notice where your attention goes in your physical world, especially with your vision. What are you drawn to? And taking time to go look out at the sky or the horizon, or spend some time with the lights off. Go ahead and draw the knees in, give it a nice big hug. And we're going to come into a supported bridge. So you can grab a pillow, you can grab a block, you can grab a bolster for this, whatever you would like to do. And so just letting yourself come down. And I do want you to bring your eye cover. So have something that will cover your eyes. So any position we're in tonight where you're laying down and your head is up, your eyes are up, I want you to have your eyes covered. We want to practice that darkness. So as much as you can create darkness in your environment. So before we come into supported bridge, lie down on the back, bend the knees, make sure you have your eye cover, and just let your knees roll side to side a little bit. Just release the back from sitting. Feet as wide as the mat. And then let your knees roll over to the right for a moment and just take a couple breaths there and let your eyes close as you just allow. And you can even place the eye pillow now. It's always interesting to move through a few yoga poses without your vision and just feeling in. That's another way we hone intuition. Take a deep breath in and out. Roll the knees up, and then again, let them drop over to the left. So just allowing the low back to release. Connecting to the earth energy, which we'll get to in a few weeks, several weeks here, into the earth energy. But the chakras are a system. And so even though we might work with them individually, they're always connected. When we did the spiral movements, the spinal movements, and we want them to flow. We want this organic flow through the chakras, but by moving through each individual one, we sort of bring it back into balance. And then draw the knees up. Bring your feet in about hip width distance apart. Heels are a comfortable distance from your pelvis. And again, just feeling into that. And then you'll tuck your tailbone and roll your hips up. And then when the hips are up as high as you can comfortably bring them, you're going to move a block, a pillow, a firm blanket, a towel right under your tailbone and your sacrum. And even if it's just a couple inches, that's fine. You might rock a little bit to find that sweet spot. And then you can just let your knees knock together. So for these, first, the higher chakras bridge really helps to bridge the chakras. It's a great one because it works with the master glands. It works with the endocrine system really well. And then here, like I said, we get to cover the eyes and sort of have that connection to darkness. So the knees can knock and they can just kind of rest here. You can also extend your legs long. That'll be a little deeper and you're going to feel a little bit more into your hip flexors if you extend your legs long. Another option, those of you who like a little bit more of a yin practice with a little more prana flowing, can draw your knees to your chest, keeping the sacrum resting on the prop, or extend the legs up. And so just feeling into a place where you can connect to bridge. And I want you to come back to that breathing up into the third eye. So as you inhale, you breathe right up and imagine breathing up the central channel. So like, again, the third eye is not really right at the surface of the forehead. It's back. It's back in the midbrain. The pineal gland looks like a little pine nut. That's where it gets its name. And it really has a lot to do with secreting our most powerful hormones. And in the quantum traditions, it actually connects to like the spirit hormone. Like this is where we sort of activate that consciousness of meditation, sort of the trance state, the deeper states. And so imagine breathing right up. Imagine a little pine nut at the height of the third eye, the ears right at the middle. This little pine nut that you can breathe into, breathe up into. Imagine the breath swirling around and then it releases. And there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. We're letting the body restore. We're resetting the third eye. And when we cover the eyes in practice, not only does that help to reset and rest the vision, it also produces melatonin, which is another important chemical we need to actually have deep restorative sleep. The higher chakras are related to dreams, meditation, trance, intuition, psychic energy, energy that comes from within us or from the spirit realm. But it is also very, very practical. This is the command center. This is what defines our vision and our perception. And so just breathing up the central channel to that little pine nut at the height of the ears, midbrain, right between the height of the ears and the third eye. And just noticing what happens as you keep bringing your attention back to the breath at the third eye, at the pineal gland. And if the legs are extended in any way, bring your feet back to the mat, let the knees knock. Take a few more conscious breaths here, just all the attention flowing up into the third eye. And again, just see if you can keep your eyes still closed or covered as you feel your feet pressing into the mat. Slowly start to roll your spine up enough until you can sense that you can draw that prop out. And then again, roll your spine down. Let the knees again just roll side to side, releasing the back. Let the eyes sink deeper into the sockets as you just release. And then when you're ready, you'll draw your knees into your chest. Again, keeping the eyes closed or covered. You can rock here or just wrap your arms around your legs and hug in. If it's comfortable, pull your knees out towards your armpits and breathe here. And then you're welcome to stay just like this and breathe, or the knees to chest. I'm going to invite anyone who doesn't have any tenderness in their knees tonight to, as effortlessly and with as little vision as possible, transition into a child's pose with support under the third eye. But if you have any knee tenderness right now, or if you're just really comfortable, just stay on your back, knees to chest or knees towards the armpits with the eyes covered. Otherwise, you'll bring yourself up, soft eyes, and we'll take a child's pose, Balasana, knees wide, and then place your forehead on a block or a pillow or a prop. So I do recommend you pad the knees. So I have a blanket down and then my knees are as wide as my mat, big toes together. And then I'm going to grab the same block I had for bridge at the flat position, and I'm just going to slide it under my forehead. And then once I have it there, I can kind of rock a little bit and kind of massage the skin there, roll a little. This is one of my favorite poses for this chakra when I'm feeling overstimulated, which happens pretty easily for me. Or if like I headaches, so headaches are obviously seem like an obvious manifestation of either too much or not enough energy in this area. Usually for it's too much in my in my experience, but obviously everybody's different. So coming into a child's pose and putting something under my forehead and breathing, this really helps to kind of regulate. If you experience a lot of anxiety, that's another manifestation of some of the higher chakras. So this really kind of helps to ground and calm. For me, it's been my experience and a lot of folks that I've worked with. But just feel for yourself. And again, being on the back with the eyes covered is great too. Just staying with the eyes covered. And even having the eye covering, places a little bit of compression over the third eye. And that's really nice. And just again, continue to breathe into that third eye point, whether you're on your back or whether you're in child's pose. Just keep the attention in that space. If you have that prop under your forehead, again, you might just notice how it feels to kind of roll forward and back or side to side, just massaging the tension we get around this area. Bringing just a little bit more support. In child's pose, you can also rock your hips a little bit. This is really nice for the back and the hips too, and also helps to decompress the spine as we extend through the arms. So the whole chakra system likes, these poses where we have the knees bent. So Apanasana on the back, the knees to chest, or Balasana in the forward position. And so if you are comfortable in child's pose, you can definitely stay just like that. We're gonna add a little twist from here. If you are not able to be in child's pose, you can actually, when you're ready, come up to seated and you'll just take a simple spinal twist. So from a seated position, or if you have a favorite twist, again, listen to your intuition. I just want to encourage you to keep the eyes closed or covered as you can. Those of you coming at it from child's pose, you'll move your prop for a minute, but you might use it again. And you're going to bring the right hand forward and we're going to thread the left arm under and then bring that left ear down. And you can put the prop underneath your head and that can actually make this a little more comfortable. You can put it under the right hand. You can even bring the hand behind the back. And then again, just let your eyes close. So just breathing, and you can come back to a regular child's pose or knees to chest at any time. Or again, just intuitively taking a twist. But this is an upper spinal twist. So if you're sitting and you just twist to the right, you're basically getting the same effect, just a little bit less in the shoulder. Deep breath into that third eye. Exhale, release. Slowly unwind. And then we'll switch sides. So the left arm will come forward, right arm will thread under, resting the right side of the head on the prop or any way that feels good. Left arm extends out, or you can hook it behind the back, which I can't do if I don't have my head on the block. So just, again, you gotta kind of find where your body is tonight. Or come back to seated and take a gentle twist to the left, closing the eyes. Or covering. So the eye cover can just kind of cover the side of the face. Or if you have an eye cover that has like a headband thing, I can't think of the word right now, a strap. And you can put that on and it can stay on. Like I said, as much of dark or eyes covered as you can have in this class, the better. Deep breath in. And then let it go. Slowly unwind. Can you come back into that child's pose? Or if you are seated, you can fold forward and put something under your forehead that way. So you can, if you're sitting cross-legged, you can come forward and bring a prop under your forehead. So you can actually do that in any sort of forward position, and we'll play with that in a couple other positions during the practice today. But you can just definitely just roll forward and even just the legs extended, mat distance. And then slowly roll yourself up if you're not already up. Come to sitting on your bottom and stretch the legs out. Give it a little shake. Make sure you are up on your sit bones, and I would recommend sitting up on something. So even if it's just a blanket or a towel. So you might notice that when you sit upright, if you kind of round forward or back, the pelvis sometimes needs a little lift. You can also sit up against a wall. And then we're going to draw the right leg in and then open the leg up. So if you want, you can add a pillow or some support under that right thigh just to give it a little extra support. And then you're going to widen that left leg just about as wide as the mat. And then that right heel comes into the left thigh. And then we'll start by just taking the left arm down the left leg, take the right hand to the right thigh, and then roll the chest open. And as you inhale, look up. And as you exhale, look down. Just take a few breaths here. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. So this is good for the neck, but also just shifting that vision up and down. Soft gaze. Just noticing where your eye goes. Usually the eye will organically pick a drishti, a gazing point. But maybe see, is there a point when you look up that you can find that same point again? And when you look down. One more breath. And then notice, do you want to keep the gaze down or up? And then let the eyes close. Just take a couple more breaths into the side body. You can also bend the left arm and kind of let it catch the left side of your head. Just be mindful of where your knee is. We don't want to press into the knee with the elbow. Deep breath in and out. Slowly shift the gaze, roll it up, roll yourself up, and then square off your hips to face that left leg. So that right thigh is still supported, the hips are still square, and then put a bend in that left knee. Let the toes point up. You don't have to flex the foot, but the toes point up. Inhale, lift up, lengthen. And as you exhale, can you bend the knee enough that you can rest your forehead there for a breath? So this opens up, when we do this kind of rounded position, forehead to knee, we start to open up the back of the spine. We get that gentle pressure. And then you can stay with the knee bent, or you can start to straighten the leg, seeing if you can keep the forehead to knee, which is actually the translation of this pose. Janu Shirshasana is head to knee. Or like myself, you might grab your prop and then rest your forehead again there. And you can even kind of bring it out onto the shin or onto the thigh. And then your hands can reach for the leg, or they can rest on the earth, or however you would like. Janu Shirshasana, which is one of the more common poses for this chakra, because again, we have the forehead facing down, and forward folds are very introspective. They bring us inward to that inner vision. So again, just breathing up and into your third eye. Big breath in. And then let it go. Gently roll yourself up. And draw the knees in for a moment. Close your eyes. Do a little rock. And you can, if it's comfortable, you can bring your hands by your sides or behind you. And again, just roll the knees side to side. And we'll come to side two. So you will extend the right leg, bend the left knee. I'm going to put my pillow under the left thigh. I like to have a little support under the bent knee. And then the right leg's going to open just right to the, as wide as the mat. Left leg comes in. Bring the right arm down the right leg. Lengthen up and over. You can rest your left hand on the left thigh. And the same thing. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. And of course, honor the mobility of your neck tonight. So if you can't look up as much on one side or the other, that's okay. Like just stay within your comfortable movement. And if it's not, then just be where it is. Otherwise, again, notice where the eyes go. Can you pick a spot and stay with it as you change the field of vision? And then decide, keeping the gaze up or down. And then let the eyes soften. Just take a couple more breaths here into the side bend. You can bend that right arm and let it catch the side of the face. Resting there. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, roll yourself up. And then again, square yourself towards that right leg. Let the toes point up, bend your knee generously, lengthen up, inhale. And then as you exhale, start to come forward, rest your forehead on the knee. And so that knee might be all the way bent for that. And just feel that sensation, because the knee kind of has that shape to it, that it can gently sort of rest towards the third eye. And again, not a lot of pressure here on either the knee or the forehead. And then you can stay just like this. You can start to extend the leg, seeing if you can keep that connection, or you can go ahead and grab for your prop and find your way into the second side here. So listening to the breath, the body, the hands can start to reach for the foot, or they can stay just gently on either side of the leg. Letting the breath come back to that little pine nut in the midbrain. Last couple breaths. In and out. And then slowly start to roll yourself up. And you can bring the soles of the feet together for a moment. And then just with the eyes closed, again, just sort of a little spinal awareness, cat-cow, or back into a circle. Just keep the focal point at the third eye. So you move your spine, close your eyes. Again, just a little intuitive movement. And if you are doing spirals, make sure you go both ways. And then as you round the spine back, hold in that cat position, tuck the chin, close the eyes, curl in. And then draw yourself forward, hug the knees in. And then you can play here with tucking the chin and then trying to reach the forehead towards the knees. Sometimes that's tougher in this position. So if it is, stack your forearms and then put your forehead down. Because a lot of times if you actually do that, you're going to feel that more in the back of the spine, which can feel good, but can be a little much too. And then we're going to briefly come onto the belly for a very gentle cobra, because cobra is another pose that we work with this chakra bhujangasana, the snake, having long been connected to intuition. So you're going to come onto your belly, and I want you again just to place your forehead down. So bring your thumbs in line with your chest, draw the elbows in, feet are hip width distance, tops of the feet down, and you're just going to rest your forehead for a moment. So let again your forehead come in contact with the earth. And you're welcome to just stay here. Just stay here and breathe into the earth, into the forehead. Otherwise, you're going to keep your hands resting, but you're not going to use them that much. You're really going to just let your hands rest also on the earth, tops of the feet into the earth. And as you inhale with the eyes closed, you're going to roll your chest up just as much as you can, keeping the eyes soft, the eyes closed. And then as you exhale, let your forehead come back. And we're just going to do this a few times. Very slow inhale to lift up. The hands are resting, the pelvis, the feet. Exhale, forehead down. And if it gets to be too much, just rest with your forehead down. You can even just rest your arms at your sides and just breathe. Very little cobra, but baby cobras are the most dangerous. They can't control their venom. So holding, if you're in cobra, if that's comfortable, get your head a soft shake, close your eyes, take a deep breath up into the third eye. And then as you exhale, stick out the tongue. Again, take a deep breath in, focus at your third eye, stick out the tongue. One more time, inhale, hold at the third eye, and then stick out the tongue. And then release the forehead down, roll your forehead side to side, relax your arms, and you can stay here for just a moment, or if it's comfortable for you to push back into that child's pose. And again, keep that forehead connected to the earth, or you can grab your block again. And for the next minute, forehead on the earth, whether on your belly or in your child's pose, or of course, if there's any other position that feels more comfortable for you. And just breathing into the earth, into the forehead. Big, big inhale. Exhale it out. If you're on your belly, you might just roll over onto your back. If you're in child's pose, you can roll up and then come down. We're moving into our final relaxation, which I would like to suggest as a traditional Shavasana, but it is your practice. Honor your intuition. If you want to take a restorative pose or sit in meditation, you can. Traditional Shavasana has a pillow under the head and a bolster or a pillow under the knees. So you would lay on your back, supporting your head, supporting your knees. And then, of course, cover your eyes. I'd also invite you to cover your body. If you can get rid of all the other light in this space, that would be great. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Just give yourself a moment. If there's anything else the body needs, again, listen to that intuition, the intuition of the body, of the breath. Slowly just starting to listen to that primal awareness, that intuitive, instinctual knowing that is part of all of us. But we begin to question what we're seeing. We begin to question our perception, our vision. Many of us have even had the experience of we've seen something, and then when we've named it, we've been shamed or silenced or ignored. And so we start to doubt our sight. We all have psychic energy. We all have this other knowing. And again, in a lot of traditions, that gets shamed or ignored or repressed or, treated in a different way. And so every time we come through these chakras, we get to reclaim our purity. We get to reclaim this pure inner vision, inner knowing, inner wisdom. We get closer to our intuitive voice, our wise intuitive voice. And so as you settle, feel the parts of your body connecting to the earth, feel the parts of you open to the dark sky and space. Imagine yourself in a cocoon wrapped in the dark, in this transformative space, because the dark is where everything begins, in the dark, in the space. And just let your body breathe and let out some sighs. Let yourself release, discharge any energy. Give yourself a little wiggle, a little shake. And then see if you can let the body go. Let the body dissolve and melt into the earth. Let your attention rest on the space between the eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows, the Agnya chakra, the chin akash. And as you drop into that space, as you drop into that energy, that pine nuts space, allow yourself to honor yourself. I honor my intuition. I honor my clear seeing. I honor my sight. And call that in, reclaim that. I reclaim my intuition. I reclaim my vision. I reclaim my clear seeing of myself and the world. Drop into that space, let it reverberate out, and imagine a blue star, a warm blue star in the space between your eyebrows, vibrating with the energy of intention, of intuition, of clear seeing, of vision. And now this little blue star slides from your third eye to the hollow of your throat. And then this little blue star moves from the hollow of your throat to the right shoulder, the right elbow, the right wrist. And then little blue stars appear at the tip of your right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring, and pinky finger. Little blue stars in your fingers, in your wrist, in your ankle, or your elbow, your shoulder, your whole right arm, like a constellation in the dark. Feeling back to that blue star at the hollow of the throat, and then a little blue star emerges at the left shoulder, elbow, wrist, little blue stars at the tips of the left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring, and pinky finger, sensing this twinkle of light stars at the tips of the left fingers, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, the whole left arm shivering like stars in the night sky. Breathing back into the hollow of the throat, a little blue star appears at the center of the chest. A little blue star at the right side of the chest, the center of the chest, left side of the chest, center of the chest. Blue stars filling your heart space. Blue star in your solar plexus, blue star in your lower belly, blue star at the base of your spine, blue star in your right hip, right knee, right ankle, twinkling blue stars at the tip of the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe, blue stars at the tips of the right toes, ankle, knee, hip, the whole right leg shimmering like a constellation. Blue star at the tailbone, blue star at the left hip, knee, ankle, little blue stars at the tips of the left foot, the big toe, second, third, fourth, and pinky toe. twinkling stars, the tips of the left toes, ankle, knee, hip, both legs like constellations. Star at the base of the spine connects to the star in the low belly, to the star in the solar plexus, the star in your heart, the star at the hollow of your throat that spreads out to the stars down both arms, and then back up into the space between the eyebrows. And your whole body, from the third eye down to your fingers and toes, illuminated by these blue stars, the darkness dissolving everything else, the whole body dissolving into these blue stars, shimmering at all of the energy points. And as you breathe, these stars expand. And as you exhale, they grow brighter. And you allow the breath to expand and contract as you watch the stars expand and get brighter. Just breathing into the body, expanding and contracting the light of the stars. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Breathing as you expand and contract. Darkness and little blue stars. The light expands and contracts, expands and contracts. And then the breath becomes effortless. And you let go of any attention on the breath. The stars start to settle back into the sky. You again feel the space between the eyebrows. And you feel the space between the eyebrows as though it were a screen, like you were going to the movies and waiting for the movie to begin. It's dark screen. And just noticing this dark screen, whatever comes up, just noticing this dark screen. And then all of a sudden, images begin to flash on the screen. You see a sparkling white crystal. Sparkling white crystal. A crescent moon. A crescent moon. A blue butterfly. Blue butterfly. An ancient forest. An ancient forest. The sunrise. The sunrise. The ocean at sunrise. The ocean at sunrise. A mountain. A mountain. Yourself lying on the earth. Yourself lying in the earth where you are now. Seeing your body on the earth, your clothing, your props. Seeing the items around you, the four walls and the ceiling. Seeing yourself in the space you're in as though you were looking down at it. As you see yourself as you are here and now, connect to a quality of gratitude, of appreciation for taking this time to tune in, to practice this self-care, this intuitive practice. And then let the images go. Feel back into the space between the eyebrows. And allow yourself to honor, just as we did in the beginning. I honor my intuition. I honor my clear seeing. I honor my vision. And offering gratitude, I'm grateful. Grateful for my intuition. I'm grateful for my vision. Grateful for my perception, my clear seeing. And as we rest into gratitude, as we seal this Agnya chakra practice with gratitude, Allow everything else to release. The practice is complete. Let yourself rest in darkness and stillness. Just another breath. We're always welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. But if you are ready to transition, you can keep your eyes closed, but start to bring back some movement, or maybe just roll into fetal pose on the left side, our lunar side, our receptive side. Maybe you can keep your eyes closed as you possibly move yourself up to sit. The eyes stay closed. Again, rub the hands, and then place those warm hands over your closed eyes. So much gratitude for these eyes, for this energy center. And then keep the eyes closed. Again, bring your hands to prayer, touching the thumbs to the forehead as you bow. Om Agnya Svaha. We surrender to the command center. And we'll seal the practice with that final sound of Sham. If you would like, take a deep breath in. Sham. Thank you for practicing tonight. Have a great rest of the week, and I hope to see you soon.